All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Got a very interesting story. Just came out of Queens, New York. In the story, they found 74 military-aged men living in a basement in this furniture store. They had bunk beds and everything. Now, the only way they found them was some inspector was coming out and looking around and seen them, and then a neighbor had been complaining about the traffic. Now, we talk about immigration is one thing, but they're running. I mean, they could be anybody. That could be a whole army. You know, this immigration is making the community vulnerable and not safe. I want you to watch this story right quick, and you guys tell me what you think in the comments. The fair use into the 1976 Copyright Act. Check this out.
Story in Queens, dozens of migrants found living in the basement of a furniture store. They were discovered during a building inspection.
And inspectors say they found more than 40 beds inside the store, but when city officials finished counting the people inside, they found 74 asylum seekers and then sent them to a migrant shelter in the Bronx. Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Rincon live in Richmond Hill with more. Sonia.
Yeah, David, good afternoon. Behind this furniture shop here on Liberty Avenue is a space that was housing dozens of migrants, adult men from West Africa. The owner of the shop fully admits to doing this. He says to help them out because he felt bad for them since they would be kicked out of shelters after 30 days. He says he wasn't charging them rent, just trying to be helpful. He also says it was perfectly safe, but neighbors didn't see it that way. Here's what it looks like in the back of the shop right now. The NYPD is guarding a backyard. The FDNY is going through the yard in the back of the store. Fire inspectors responded last night to weeks of complaints from at least one neighbor via 311, complaints about crowding, noise, and a lot of e-bikes being stored in that yard area. But what really bothered one particular neighbor the most was that this makeshift shelter involved a structure that fully obscured her window. The furniture shop owner, who was letting the men stay in his commercial space.
Now think about what you're hearing. This is already commercial space upstairs, but up underneath the furniture store in the hood, clandestine, is 40 beds and 74 men. That's like a platoon, a squad. Y'all got to share this video so people can see what's going on in their communities. I did other videos about how they're having migrant compounds within our community. And I'm calling them compounds because they're like military compounds or some type of prison compounds. So I'm gonna finish this story, but just think about that. This regular looking furniture store has 40 bunk beds in the basement and 74 military aged men living in there. No elderly men, you know what I mean? Check out the story. I'm just let it finish. It's gonna be a short video.
Says last night the men who were staying here did not want to leave, but didn't have much choice.
They don't want to go.
Right.
They don't want to go through that again because it's like this morning, most of them called me. They said what they've been through is they have never been through that last night. They've been through hell last night, trying to find a place, to stay. And they were fine. We were fine. We were just, doing what we have to do.
Now, the city agencies involved say they placed about 40 men in shelters. The mayor just spoke about this just a short time ago, and let's hear what he said.
We're still investigating exactly what happened here. When you have situations like what we are facing here.
And let me tell you something. If they thought it was just a case of people needing shelter or a place to lay their head, they wouldn't even care. They got people sleeping under viaducts in New York. Why would they care that they was sleeping in this furniture store to the point to where it involved the mayor? Think about this.
There's some that's going to attempt to exploit it. There's some are going to attempt to do illegal housing. So we have an obligation with DOB, FDNY, and all of our services to respond and take necessary action. That's what was done last night.
Now, the shop owner says he certainly counted more than 40 people who were staying here. He says there were 74, and it's possible some of the others found another place to stay and didn't need to be placed in a shelter. Again, there are now vacate orders here, and the FDNY is still going through the space. The shop is still open, but it's obviously not allowed to house people. And neighbors who complained tell us they are relieved. They said it was just getting to be too much.
Now that's an interesting story. Think about that and process it. And they just happen to stumble along and find that one. And they say it's over 10 million immigrants here. We may be surrounded. Y'all got to keep your eyes open, stay vigilant, like, share, and subscribe. This is Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. Keep your head on a swivel.